Okay, this is continued. All right. Alright, Muslim talk. Genesis 16:16 says Abraham was 86 when Ishmael was born. And Genesis 21:5 says that he was 100 when Isaac was born. So, Ishmael was 14 according to this. And because the Bible like to kick out people, we note in Genesis 21:14 another kick out to Hagar and her son. So where does the sacrifice of Ishmael kick in? Okay, we are used to it, or supposed to receive it. But wait a minute. If I am Ishmael was kicked out when he was 14, how Genesis 21:14 and 21:15 treat Ishmael like an infant? People even treat grown-ups like infants sometimes. Doesn't mean that they are, you know. Lie, lie, lie. Bible is a lie. Not made in China. Probably made in Taiwan. If so, then it sounds like you can go against Qur'an 4:136, 4:150, 4:151, 152, 2:85, 40, 70 through 72, and make distinction between all his books. And you can go against those scriptures and not believe in all the books of Allah. The books of Allah. Abraham went to Arabia when Paran and the Bakka was mentioned several times in the Bible. If so, where does it say he went to Mecca and built the Kaaba? But the texts are distorted because this book is man-made. Oh, so it doesn't mean it. So it doesn't mention it. It's distorted. Isn't that kind of like saying the Quran is true because it says it's true? Full of contradictions and lies. If so, then why obey Quran 4:136, 150, 151, 152, 2:85, and 40, 70 through 72? If they are lies and contradictions, can't you then make distinction between all his books? And you can go against those scriptures and not have to believe in all the books of Allah. And what of Quran 10:94 and 5 verse 68? O slave of the best deceivers. Also there's Quran 5:47. Paran and Hijaz and Mecca is in the Hijaz region. Paran is located in an old French map of Arabia. So can you locate the Paran elsewhere? Oh, an old French map has it right. Well, how do you know that old French map has it right? Your Bible proves that Hagar is wife in Genesis 16:3, but it doesn't mention that Sarah is a wife. Doesn't mention that Sarah doesn't mention Sarah is Abraham's wife. Oh, well, let's see if you're truthful. If you're lying here, what else will you be lying about here? And what have you lied about already? Let's see if you are right with at least the first 3 English versions of the book. The Quran says the Quran confirms and reminds, especially being that this is dealing with the Torah, and the Quran says the Torah is Allah's book given to Musa. Okay, New International Version. Quote, so after Abraham had been living in Canaan 10 years, Sarai, his wife, says wife, and you want to know something? You, O Muslim, have said it doesn't mention that Sarai is his wife. Wow. Well, let's see the other two. The others. Okay, this is he took her Egyptian slave Hagar and her to her husband to be his wife. That's New Living Translation. So Sarai, Abraham's wife. Oh, there it is again. Took Hagar, an Egyptian servant, and gave her to Abraham as his wife. This happened 10 years after Abraham settled in the land of Canaan. English translation, English Standard Version, 2000. Quote, so after Abraham lived in 10 years in the land of Canaan, Sarai, Abraham's wife, there it is again, Abram's wife, therefore your taqiyya, line for Allah, is exposed. Meaning that you probably lied about other things as well. It says, took Hagar and the Egyptian, her servant, and gave her to Abram, her husband, as a wife. Well, let's see if you blatantly lie further here. Okay. And therefore, Genesis 11:29 leads you to think she is concubine, although the current Bible is totally fake, and it can't be a reliable source. If so, if you're telling the truth again, if you're not lying again, when did the Torah become corrupted so Qur'an 568 would become a lie? You know, when did it become unreliable for you to obey Qur'an 1094? When did it become fake so you could make distinction between Allah's books and not believe in them, thereby making Qur'an 4, 136, 150, 151, 152, 2, 285, and 40, 70 through 72 lies? When did they become corrupted to make those scriptures in the Qur'an lies? And not to be, so you don't have to worry about being far astray if you don't believe in them, or if you do, you don't have to worry about being far astray if you make distinction even. Your fake Bible, Genesis 20, says Abraham is pimping Sarai to Pharaoh, and to make it worse, he said, "She is my sister." How is a report of Abraham being imperfect in the Torah, Allah's book given to Musa, proof that the Torah is false? Is Islam false for Muhammad being a murderous pedophile who put hot pieces of metal into his enemies' eyes, cutting off their hands and feet to let them die in the hot desert without water and shade? You know? Oh, people of the book, your brain is fucked up. If the book Bible is corrupted, then what is the book you are to come to me for my reading? See Qur'an 1094. How can you believe in all the books of Allah, and how can it be true that the Qur'an confirms whatever scripture that went before it? You know, how can that be true? Jews don't respect Christians. I'm trying to change the subject. Well, at least they don't saw their heads off to Adonai's greatest, to mindless chance of Adonai's greatest for not believing like them. While Jews and Muslims follow Abrahamic teachings, example, both follow circumcision and don't eat pork. Saul, the Jewish liar, composed half of the New Testament out of his imagination and made Christians eat the filthy animal. Better to believe a guy who said he was squeezed every time he said he couldn't read, to the point where it took his wife to convince him he wasn't demon possessed? Yeah. Better to believe a guy who said he took a flying donkey-like creature, the El Barak ride, with a peacock tail and the head of a human and wings to talk Allah down from 50 prayers a day to the current 5 in a journey by night, visiting the Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Temple of Solomon, which neither existed at the same time? Better to believe that guy who said that the sun, when it runs to a resting place to set in a murky spring, asks permission of Allah to rise again? Does the sun need to ask something like that, being that it's really the earth rotating? Hey, I'll take my chances with St. Paul. Genesis 16:3, but it quote doesn't mention that Sarai is his wife, unquote. By the way, the Bakavali, Arabic, here's the word for it. In Arabic, Wadi Baka, Lebanese, also transliterated as Baka, is a fertile valley in eastern Lebanon. For the Romans, the Bekaa Valley was a major agricultural source, and today it remains Lebanon's most important farming region. Industry also flourishes in Bekaa, especially that related to agriculture. And then Psalm 83 is mentioned, "Blessed is the man whose strength is in thee, in whose heart are the ways of them." That's Psalm 84, 5 and 6 says, "Who passing through the valley of Bekaa make it a well. The rain also filleth the pools. They go from strength to strength. Every one of them in Zion appeareth before God." And in Qur'an 396, Sahih International says, "Indeed, the first house of worship established for mankind was that at Mecca, blessed and a guidance for the worlds. I think you can keep your cigars." The guy was lying. The Quran is critical to some Jews and Christians. To some, Sounds like the only Jews and Christians it's not critical of are the ones that pull out prayer rugs 5 times a day every day to stick their patooties up in the air to keep from paying jizya tax with willing submission. See Qur'an 9:29. In other words, unless they are Muslim. Quran is forken. That is criterion. How is it when you how is it that when you have it telling you to go to those who have been reading the before scriptures, 1094? How is that when it says the Torah is not only like the Quran, get it, like the Quran, but is both guidance and light? How is it that? Why don't you stick a fork in that to explain the logic of that? So that it is used to judge which is true and which is false in their scriptures, Quran 5:48. Well, such forking also tells Jews and Christians to use the Torah and Injil to forken with the Quran by telling Jews and Christians to use the Torah and Injil to judge the Quran. See Quran 5:47. So, does that make sense? If so, well, what does this mean from Pickle's translation of 5:46 verse through 47? Quote, and we, that's Allah, even though shirk is the worst of sins, he likes to use the royal we, caused Jesus, the son of Mary, to follow in their footsteps, confirming that which was revealed before him in the Torah, and we bestowed on him the gospel wherein is guidance and light, confirming that which was revealed before it in the Torah, a guidance and an admission unto those who ward off evil. Let the people of the gospel judge. What was that? I've got to hear that again. Let the people of the gospel judge. Oh, that felt good. One Mohammed time, Allah. Let the people of the gospel judge. Man, that feels like ecstasy. I wonder if a shot of heroin feels like that. I guess I'll never know. Well, again, let the people of the gospel judge. I think I'm going to have to take a cold shower after that. One last time. Let the people of the gospel judge. I'm sorry. I have to say it one Mohammed time. Let the people of the gospel judge by that which Allah hath revealed therein of the Quran. Whoso judgeth not by that which Allah hath revealed, such are evil livers and onions. Well, at least, that leaves me out, for I have certainly done that, And I'm definitely not an evil liver, because I do judge the Quran by the gospel. Okay, yeah, that leaves me out, for I have certainly done that and continue to do so. Okay, I have definitely obeyed surah 5:46 through 47, O slave of the best of deceivers. Definitely have. I suggest you do the same. Oh, and how is this morsel for you? Quote, but how do they come to you for decision while they have the Torah, in which is the plain decision of Allah? Exactly. Quote, yet even after that they turn away. Right. It's their fault. Not the Torah's fault. It's their fault. Quote, for they are not really believers. That's Surah 5:43, Hilal Countin. Again, why are we to judge criterion, the Quran, with a book that is corrupted? Oh, and how is this from the quote criterion? Quote, and we, shirking Allah again, have revealed to you the book with the truth, verifying what is before it, Bible, of the book, and a guardian over it. Does that make sense that the Bible's corrupted? Therefore, judge between them by what Allah hath revealed. How is the Bible corrupted, O slave of the best of deceivers? How? Quote, and do not follow their low desires to turn away from the truth that has come to you. For every one of you did we appoint a law and a way, and if Allah had pleased, he would have made you all a single people. So I tell you, why is it our fault if we are going to hell for being unbelievers? But that Al got tired of saying we for a change. He, quote, might try you in a way he gave you. Why? When it's Al who leads on off the straight path, Therefore strive with one another to hasten the virtuous deeds.